Hello and welcome to my show Indus Cuisine. I'm your chef Basim Akhund. We're back with a new episode from the heart of Pakistan. Today's recipe is very interesting and the name is Memni Dhokra. This word Memni or Memans came from the word Momin. Momin means a true believer in the religion Islam. Memon community was thriving in the subcontinent. Everyone knows that in 1947 the British Raj, or also known as once upon a time before that the East India Company, gave Pakistan its independence and the subcontinent was divided into two countries. What happened back in the day was this country was made for the majority of Muslims. This community known as Memon, they came to the city of Karachi, mostly why? Because Karachi was the business hub and they started their businesses, and even to date, the current day Pakistan has the biggest businessmen from the Memon community, and this recipe is their home recipe. It's one of their favorite recipes. And how is this recipe made? I'll let you know. Very easy recipe, but you need to follow it step by step. The authentic way of making this is with fried fish, but if you do not want to use fried fish, you could also use fried chicken with it. But my promise towards you through Indus Cuisine is to tell you how to make the most authentic recipe that is a part of our Pakistani culture or our culinary world. Okay, well, you could see a lot of ingredients first, but what we need to do is first we need to marinate the fish. Why do we marinate the fish? There are two reasons why. Because we want to add some flavor to the recipe, and also why? Because seafood usually people think smells a bit. So what we'll do is we shall cure the fish and then we shall start marinating it. For the curing process, what we need to do is we need to get a bowl and we shall bathe it with a little bit of vinegar. So what I'll do is I'll pick up a big bowl first and I shall bathe the fish. What we need is we need sea fish, right? So usually when people live in a country which is usually landlocked, it has rivers, so people have river fish. But if you have a coastal area, you can use the sea fish. What I'm using today is a sea fish which is easily available in the Arabian Sea, which hits the Pakistani coast of Karachi and also Balochistan. The first part is the marination, right? So what I'll be doing is I shall be using some vinegar for the marination also, but I shall wash the fish with it also. So let's go with the marination. You will be using around 3 to 4 garlic cloves. Over here I've kept a little more. Why? Because it's fine to keep a little more if you would like some more later on. Then you need some red chili powder, salt to taste. You need some cumin powder, you need some coriander powder. Remember, you need powder. Why? Because when the powder mixes with the vinegar, then only the flavor will be derived. Then you need around half a cup of vinegar, some turmeric and oil for frying. So what I'll do first is I shall just bathe the fish. Okay, so what we'll do is, what you can do is transfer all the vinegar. I'll take half a cup of vinegar for bathing and then another half cup of vinegar will be used for the marination. What I'll do is I shall just dip the fish in it. Because it's a smaller fish, I'll dip it, I'll move it around. Try that all the vinegar goes till the core of the fish, and when I say core, it means till inside. As you can see, it's a fish which is very small, but you need to see one thing, that the cavity, when I say cavity, it means the part where the intestines are of the fish. It's a very small part, which means that the remaining part is filled with flesh. Flesh, I mean meat. I'll take another plate or a bowl for that. I shall transfer all the pieces of the washed fish over here. Okay, wash it and just like shake it up and transfer it over here. You don't have to marinate this in the vinegar, remember it, I'm just washing it. Why? Because the vinegar pulls out the strong flavor from the fish. You need to remember that. And another thing, you might be seeing that for the fish I'm using today, I do not have the eyes in. Now you might be saying that why is he saying all of these things, but there's a reason. You can't see any eyes over here. The reason is that if you cook your fish with eyes, what happens is your gravy will get a very cloudy texture, and that texture also ruins the flavor. These are the small things that chefs do not tell people a lot, but it's my job to tell you, and I shall always tell you. So I'm basically washing it over here. Now I'll transfer this over here. Now remember, whatever you've used, you shall keep it on the side in the sink and try not to mix it. Why? Because you need to avoid cross-contamination. Now what I'll do is I shall keep this fish on the side for at least, you could say, 2 minutes. It's properly bathed in vinegar. Now the next step for this recipe is you need to prepare the marinade. For that, what I'll do is I'll pick up a fresh bowl and I shall keep it over here. The fresh bowl goes over here, and what you need first is you need some garlic. So what I'll do is I'll keep this over here and I'll shred the garlic over here. So let's say if I've written around 3 cloves of garlic, I'll be using 4. Why? Because I'm wasting a little bit, so that's around 25% of the garlic. It's not wastage basically, but it's your protection. Why? Because if you go really close to the blade, what happens is if it slips, you can hurt yourself. I'll pick up all these end parts of the garlic and I'll throw it in the dustbin. It's done. Always try pulling out the strands of garlic. You can see there's so much of garlic in my hand which was sticking to the grill over here. I'll keep the grill on the side or the shredder on the side, and what we'll do next is we should start preparing the recipe. Firstly, what you need to do is you need to add some spices. You'll be adding some red chili, you'll be adding some salt, then you'll be adding some cumin powder, then add a little bit of turmeric, then add some coriander powder, and when you're done with all of this, you should get some vinegar which I've kept at the back. So now you should add the vinegar now. What I'll do is I shall start mixing it slowly with a spatula. So just pick up a spatula, first dry mix it. The reason I'm dry mixing it right now is because I want all the dry herbs to mix properly, and then I shall add the vinegar. Okay, the vinegar goes in first. Add half of it. I shall stop over here. There's a reason behind that. The reason is I need a fresh frying pan. The frying pan goes here. Increase the heat. I want it to come to heat properly, and then we shall start frying it. Okay, you add all of the vinegar inside and start mixing it. Why am I mixing it so much? The reason is because the salt is usually in small pieces which look like crystals. So if you do not mix it properly, the salt will not dilute nicely, and if it doesn't dilute nicely, the fish won't get its flavor. Okay, now as I said, this board is clean. I shall be using this board. What I'll do is I shall spread the fish out over here first, and we shall not directly just put the spice on it. We need to make these nice small cuts. For that, what I'll be using is I'll be using a separate knife. This is a fish knife. You can see the blade is like bending. So we use it for filleting and also for the fish. Why? Because the fish is very delicate, and when it comes to the delicacy of the fish, you need to be very careful with your equipment. So I'll just make these cuts on the fish. Why? Because when you make these cuts, the flavor or the masala will settle in also. And the other thing is that the fish will cook till the bone, but do not make the cuts really deep. Why? Because then the fish will start breaking. So I've just made these light cuts over here. You can see this is it. The oil has come to heat. What I'll do now is I shall just pick the oil slowly and gradually, and I shall transfer it over here. I want the oil to get really piping hot first, and then I shall fry the ingredients. Okay, this is done. Now what you need is you need to pick up the masala and start rubbing it on the fish. Okay, this is done. Now what I need to do is I need this to be in marination for at least 15 minutes, even though we're doing a show. So till the time this marinates, you go for a short break, and once we're back from the break, we'll tell you how to fry this, because I want to put a nice little coating on it. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, keep watching Indus Cuisine, guys. Welcome back. You're watching Indus Cuisine and I'm your chef Basim Akhund. During the break, I just waited for you and I just cleaned up. The next part of the recipe is to fry the fish. Okay, what I'll do right now is I shall fry the fish later. Now the reason behind that is why? Because I would like to give this fish a little bit of time so that the flavor basically goes to the core. I've kept the oil on the side, it was hot, and now what we'll do is we shall get ready with all the other ingredients we need to prepare for this recipe. So first what I'll do is I shall pick up a wok, which is over here, and I shall add a little bit of water in it. When the water comes to boil, I shall boil the potatoes and I shall boil the peas first. But before that, I'll also give you a quick rundown on what are the ingredients of the recipe which we'll be following. Okay, you need the other ingredients. We'll need some oil. Obviously, this is not for frying, this is for cooking. Some garlic, some ginger. You'll be needing some garam masala. I'm just putting everything in front of you so that you can note them down point by point. You need some turmeric powder. You need some cumin powder. You need some red chili powder. Then you need some yogurt, which we'll be adding towards the end. Then you need some yogurt for the dumplings, you could say, or the small pieces of bread we'll be making inside the sauce. It's a very different concept, and it's only in Pakistan. I'll tell you what to do. You might be confused right now. You want boiled chickpeas which are ready to eat, and then you need some peas which are not in their skin. Okay, and then you need around 3 to 4 tomatoes, and you need around half a kg of potatoes. You need some aubergine, you need some green chilies. Okay, now let's start cooking. Firstly, what we'll do is we shall take the potatoes and we shall add them to the water. Why am I doing that? The reason behind that is that if you put the potatoes in the water, it will take around 6 to 7 minutes to boil, and during those 6 to 7 minutes we shall prepare all the other things. Okay, so what you just need to do is pick a potato and make these 1-inch pieces. You just want to cut them like this. Please make sure that most of the pieces are equally thick. Why? Because the cooking time will not vary then, and it will be a perfect texture what you will be needing for your food. It is a very light recipe, and now what I'll do is I shall reduce the heat just for a bit, and I shall transfer the potatoes in the water. Now the next thing you need to add is the peas, because the peas are raw right now. They go in. So now you need some salt. Remember, whenever you're putting salt in water which is actually used for boiling, there's a saying when we go to culinary school. It's like salt it like the sea. The reason behind that is if you salt it like the sea, then only you'll get this nice flavor. It doesn't mean obviously to add a kg or a kilogram of salt. It just means to keep it a little salty, not like a pinch of salt, but for this you would require around, you could say, a teaspoon and a half of salt. Okay, and you don't add a teaspoon and a half of salt in 5 people's food. That is where you can go wrong. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just keep a lid on top, but I will not put it like in an airtight way. What I'll do is I'll just tilt it on the side. Now this is done. What I need now is I need to prepare the paste or the gravy for this thing. What I'll do is I'll pick up a nice fresh pan. The pan should come to heat first. Till the time the pan is coming to heat, we'll be using 2 cloves of garlic and around, you could say, a tablespoon of shredded ginger. What I'll do first is I shall just pick up my knife. I shall press this like this and finally chop the garlic. And now I shall add around 3 tablespoons of oil. This recipe will not require a lot of oil, just 3 tablespoons of oil. Another half over here goes. Keep it on the side and now start roasting it. Now you might be thinking this Pakistani recipe doesn't have a lot of onion. It has no onions. Why? Because this recipe won't be using onions. What I'll do now is I'll be shredding the ginger. This is enough. Pick it up, put it on the side, pick up a tissue paper, just clean your hands, shake it up and try pulling the strands out. Remember, do not waste anything. Now I do not need this shredder at all. What I'll do is I'll bring the pan to heat, which has actually come to heat. Pass my knife just a few times, pick this up, transfer it here. Okay, you don't need the paring knife right now. Just tilt it and add just a pinch of salt so that I can pull the moisture out. On the other hand, just keep an eye. You can see the potatoes are cooking nicely and fairly. Try distributing the heat properly, and that happens only if the pan is placed nicely on the grill. Okay, this is done. What I'll do now is I shall start mixing and tilting the pan. When you tilt the pan, what basically happens is your ingredients, they get a chance to deep fry, and now I shall spread out. Now the next step is preparing the spice for this. Okay, the blade is clean. First what you need is you need some tomatoes. I'll make a nice paste out of these, but before that you should add some masalas. For this recipe you need to add the masalas first so that the flavor of the recipe comes out. First add some red chili powder. Now you might be thinking this is too much. It's not too much. Why? Because I shall be adding some yogurt to it. Then you're going to add some cumin powder. Then you'll be adding some turmeric powder. This is done. Whatever is used goes on the side. tilt it and mix it. Now reduce the heat because the pan is really hot already. Keep it on the side. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to finely slice the tomatoes. For that you need to take the eye of the tomato out, and whenever you take the eye of the tomato out, you can see that the tomato balances really well and it doesn't fall. It's like placed just like this. Remember, always thoroughly wash your tomatoes before you use them. Okay, I shall just chop them first like this, or basically cut them into 2 halves, and then we shall commence with the fine chopping. Okay, this is done. Now this has come to heat. All the spices are nicely balanced. Put the tomatoes over here, transfer them, and then we shall increase the heat, give it a lid so that tomatoes start breaking down. Okay, you will not add anything right now. Why? Because if you add something else, the tomatoes won't break down properly. And now what you'll do is you shall start preparing the flour for this. Okay, for the flour what you need to do is, but before that, add like around just a pinch of salt so that tomatoes get a chance to sweat nicely. Mix the masala, shake it up, keep it on the side, reduce the heat, add like just a 1/4 cup of water towards the side, not too much. This is it. Now the reason behind this is, I'll tell you, spread it out. Steam will give it a nice texture, and that will give you a nice flavor, and the sauce will be smooth. Okay, now as you can see, I've kept the tomatoes on really low heat. They're cooking, they need to get really soft. On the other hand, the potatoes are getting soft, also let them cook with the lid on. Why do I have a lid on? The reason is to control the evaporation of water, because if you take the lid off, what will happen is within 10 minutes, all the water is going to go like boom, out. And if you keep the lid on, it will continue for 20 minutes and you'll still see some water, and it will be nicely preserved, you could say. Okay, now the other thing is you need to prepare the dough. But the dough will not be prepared just like that. For that, what you need to do is you need to take some green chilies. For the green chilies, what you need is you need somewhere around 15 green chilies. So I'll take 15 green chilies. Always see over here the heat needs to be really, really low, not too high. And that is fine. So I shall just take the stem out, and I shall be using a food processor for this, and the reason behind it is I'll let you know. Okay, so let's start counting. These are 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5, 6. We need 15 pieces. The sticks only need to go out. That's about it, nothing else. Now what you'll do is you'll go to the food processor, transfer all the green chilies into the food processor over here. Take around 1 cup of water, and the 3 to 4 tablespoons of yogurt I've mentioned will go into this. This goes in. Keep this on the side. Take around just a pinch of salt, not too much. Give it a lid, and now start mixing it. So now I have this. You need a fresh bowl, and you have to get your hands a little dirty for this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll pick up a big bowl, a very big bowl. I'll transfer half a kilo of flour into this. Now what you need is start pushing the flour on the side like this. What am I doing? I'm just making a deep well in between. You cannot hurry into this, remember this. And now what I'll do is I shall just shake this up once, pick it up and transfer it over here. Now you won't transfer all of it in a go. Use half of it, and now start putting all the flour which was on the side on the water you've added. And you shall be adding the water or the mixture which I've used over here to the point where each and every part of the dry flour is sticking to each other. On the other hand, if you want to see the tomatoes are ready over here, I've put the stove on pilot. So now start mixing it like this, like punching it through. You need a nice Pyrex bowl, and it's a little tough. The reason it's tough is because the water we've used in this is basically chili water. It has pieces of chili in it. It's hard work, but it is rewarding. As you can see over here, let me show you. There is no dry flour in this. The dough is here. So I shall just add a little bit of the water here. Why? Because I want to now make it a little sticky. What will happen is it will get this nice texture now, and I haven't used any other form of water. I am just using this chili water, which is bringing the dough together. Okay, this is done. So as you can see, I've made like a dough. Now what you need to do is make small pieces. The small pieces are for you. It's easier. I've taken a yellow board. Why? Because yellow board is usually used for either making dough, or basically it's used for things which are ready to eat. Now what I'll do is I shall just spread this out, make a cylinder. Okay, this is done. Now what I'll do is I'll pick up my paring knife. I shall make these small pieces in front of you. I'm pressing these so that you get this shape. This one you can keep on the side. I want the center pieces. And this is done. Okay, and push the board over here and bring the green board back. The green board comes back over here. I'll keep it in front of you. So now what I need is I need to start frying the fish and also this. Okay, increase the heat. Add some water over here. The spices are ready. And start pressing it down. This is done. You can see the sauce, you can see the tomatoes. You just have to push them down so that you get this nice curry. So when this comes to boil, I shall add the dough in it. But till that time, what we'll do is we'll fry the fish. Take the fish and place it in the oil. Slowly and gradually. I'm going to spread it out properly and give the fish around 3 minutes on each side. When this comes to boil, what we'll do is we'll add the dough over here. But before that, you need the aubergine. I've taken some extra aubergine for one reason only. The reason is at times the aubergine comes bad from within and then you cannot use it, and on the screen I can't go buying some more aubergine again. Okay, so we shall just make cubes of this. Always cut it from the center to see if it's bad or not, and then just make these nice thick slices. Remember that. Now I need to make square pieces like this. We're just getting ready with this recipe to get done nice and in a very delicious manner. This has come to boil. Now what you'll do is you shall add dough in this, spread it out, try not letting it stick with each other. When it comes to heat, then only, as you can see, the fish is frying. I shall not increase the heat too much, but so much that it just cooks nicely. And now just fix them inside. This is done. Everything is cooking nicely. The fish is cooking over here. Now what I'll do is I'll pick up the chickpeas, throw them in. I'll pick the garam masala, toss it in, and I'll place the aubergine on top like this. The aubergine goes in the end. Why? Because it cooks really quickly. Mix it up and push it inside. Now I'll give it a lid and let this cook for 3 minutes on high heat. On the other hand, the fish is also cooking. What I'll do is I shall just baste it. I'm not going to, remember one thing, turn the fish around. I shall just baste it. Why? Because if you turn it around, it will start breaking. So for basting, you just need it to be in deep oil. It's deep frying right now. And pick the hot oil and pour it on top, what will happen is the cooking process will keep going on, but the heat needs to be on its full. So now I've changed the pan and I've used a wok now. What I'll do is I'll add the peas and the boiled potatoes on top. Everything is almost done. Whatever you don't need goes on the side. Remember that. Keep your counter very clean. Mix it up. Why? Because the flour is also done. So everything is ready. In the end, now what we'll do is we'll add some yogurt on top, around a cup of yogurt. It goes in. Looks delicious. It's a lengthy recipe, as I told you, but easy if you follow the steps. Mix it up properly. The yogurt goes towards the end. Remember that, please. The fish is also ready. And now I shall dish everything out and I'll show you the final look. So as you can see, today's recipe is ready. It was delicious, as I would like to break it down for you. So the fish is on the side, the dough pieces are on top, the gravy is beneath it, there's potato, there's chickpeas, there's aubergine, and there's yogurt in it. It is delicious and it takes a bit time, but you should love it. Try this recipe at home and let me know on our YouTube page of Indus News, and you can go see our episodes by writing Indus Cuisine and my name, Basim Akhund. I'll see you in another episode of Indus Cuisine. Take care of yourself, lovely people. Bye.